Hey everyone, this is Anne Marie, the Anti-HR HR Lady, and look who it is. I am joined today by Dr. Kimani Norrington Sands. And if you're a regular on YouTube, you've probably seen both of us on YouTube in different places on either on Kimani's channel or on my channel. And so if you are following us both separately, you shouldn't be that surprised to see us finally together. And we've actually done a conversation together that you've probably seen either on my channel or her channel. But as my thing is talking to my audience, especially Black women, about removing themselves from discriminatory, hostile work environments, but making sure they get their employer to pay them to leave. So, I try to help people not just leave, but don't leave empty-handed. And Kimani, what do you talk about?
I talk about how to help heal from a toxic job because a toxic job can cause harm physically, psychologically, and spiritually.
So there you have it. So it makes complete sense that Kimani and I have decided to do a collaboration together. We are going to teach a masterclass where we are going to combine both of the topics that we talk about, which is central to saving yourself from hostile, toxic workplaces. But we're going to talk about it not just from the perspective of how do you get your employer to pay you to leave, but also how do you do so with your mind, body, and spirit intact? Because we all know that when you are subject to these kinds of work environments, whether it's 6 months or 6 years, there's harm and damage that occurs. And, Kimani and I have talked a lot about this individually, about the impact that we see on the people that we work with individually, and agreed that we wanted to do something together. So we decided to create a masterclass that we are going to launch in June 2023. And what is it called, Kimani? Because Kimani came up with a really excellent name for this class. I cannot take credit for this. So what is our masterclass going to be called?
It is called Save Yourself from a Hostile, Toxic Job. Learn to be your own Harriet so that you can leave a toxic, hostile job with your sanity and your coins.
There you go. There you have it. It's about saving yourself, because one of the things that we both talk about and that I really think is important for us to remember is that the job of getting yourself out of these environments is yours as an individual. You cannot wait for anyone else to make it happen for you. You have to make a decision, and then you have to act in alignment with that decision, right? So you have to have a plan. You guys hear me talk all the time about having strategies and tactics, and not going to HR unless you have a clear strategy, because you can really shoot yourself in the foot if you don't have that. So we got together and we decided it would be great to combine all of that information in a 2-day masterclass. We're finalizing the dates, but it is going to be in mid-June, and we'll be, sending out more information with details about how to enroll, the dates, participating in it. But we're going to split it up. We're splitting it up into 2 days because it's going to be very comprehensive. It's going to be intensive, 2-day course, and we're going to break it up into what, Kimani? We're talking about.
So the first day will be on how to get ready to leave, right? So the prep for it. And then the second day will be, now that you've left, what do you need to do, right? And all of what we're doing is based upon the perspective of the Black women that we work with as clients, but also our own experiences as toxic job survivors as well.
I love that. Yes, because we are both survivors of toxic work environments. Some of us, me at least, I know for myself more than one time. So it's one of those things, as I always say, it's important to know these things and to be prepared for them, because as Black women in corporate work environments, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And unfortunately, often it's a matter of not just when, but how many times you're going to experience this in your professional career. And so you have to have the tools and the equipment to not only recognize it when it's happening as quickly as possible, but also how to put a plan together, how to execute the plan, and how to protect your spirit while you're doing it. Because there is a lot of harm that we experience in these environments. And if you don't do the work, as you've heard me and Kimani talk about in our conversation, which will be linked in the description of this video, if you don't do the work, you'll suffer for a very long time, even after you leave.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always tell people money gets you options, which is why I try to help people get money. Because I feel if you are harmed in any way,
Mhm.
especially if you're harmed in a way that breaks the law, and, you know, racism and sexism and all those things are still, as of today, illegal in the United States, as of today. Um, you know, you have the right to hold your employer accountable for that, whether you choose to do it using my strategies, or whether you choose to, you know, file a lawsuit after you leave, or however you decide to do it. You have the right to do that, and I encourage people to exercise that right and to hold their employers accountable. But you have to do that, and you have to recognize that. But you still have to understand that even if you get paid all the money, like they give you the exact number that you want, it's not going to make you feel better. I'm telling you this
Yes.
from experience, from someone who's been paid lots of money. If you don't do the work, you will carry this stuff, and you will carry it not just into your next job, but you take it into your personal life as well.
Yes.
And
And the
so it's
people who care
really,
about you are impacted too.
and exactly, your families are impacted, your children are impacted, your spouses, your partners are
Mhm.
impacted, because it is what we suffer is harmful. And so
Yes.
it impacts your self-esteem, it impacts the way you see yourself, it impacts the way you see the world.
Mhm.
And so you can go into other workplaces hyper, you know, vigilant, hyper paranoid, anxiety, all these kinds of things from leaving that environment. So even after you leave it, you still carry those things with you. And so when Kimani and I were talking about it, I really loved the idea of doing this, because she is a, you know, she's a licensed psychotherapist. She's a psychologist.
Psychologist. Uh-huh. Hmm.
Psychologist. I tell people all the time, I am not a psychologist. I am not a coach. I cannot help you with these things. I can get you the money so you can pay a therapist. I can help you get that. I can help you with that. But I cannot help you with dealing with how to come to terms with what happened. And that's the thing that you have to intentionally decide to do, is to put it all in perspective, to come to terms with it, so that you don't carry it around like a sack of flour on your back for the rest
Yeah.
of your life, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what we want to do is talk to people about not just, you know, how to recognize this stuff and how to prepare yourself mentally for leaving. Because deciding to leave a job is a big deal. Whether you've been there
Absolutely.
for 6 months or 6 years or 16 years, and I've had people be at jobs 14, 15 years being abused. Uh, making a decision to leave a job, especially, you know, a job you've been in for a really long time and you become used to the abuse,
Yeah.
is a big deal. And
Yeah.
so just deciding to leave and then executing on your plans and your decision is a big deal. But
Yeah.
it's really important for us to realize that that's not enough,
Yeah.
that
It's a
you have
major
to
life
do more.
decision.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
major life
major life
decision. It's a lot
decision,
of fear.
and you have to do more than just leave. Once you leave,
Yes.
which is the most important thing for you to do, is to decide to leave and then to actually do it, right? But even after you leave, you need to be prepared to deal with what the aftermath of all of that
Yep.
is,
Yep.
from you know, from a mind body perspective, and take the necessary steps to heal yourself, not just save
Yes.
yourself, but heal
Yes.
yourself, so
Yes.
that you come out of this a whole person. Because
Yes.
these things are spirit breaking things. When you
Absolutely.
know that the way that you're being treated is wrong, you
Hmm.
suspect that it's even illegal, you confirm that it's illegal, but everyone around you, HR, your manager, and so on, are trying to tell you that the problem is you.
Right.
And it really does make you question
Yep.
yourself. It makes you question your skills. It makes you question a lot of things. And so it's really important to do the work, so that, and have the information and do the work, so that you can not, when you walk away, you can find a way to put this stuff behind you as much as possible and
Yeah.
put it in perspective, so that you can go on with your life as a whole human being, and not a
Yeah.
person that's just forever damaged. You
Broken.
don't necessarily
Broken.
forget it, but you don't want these things to break you, and they are spirit breaking things. So you
Yes.
have to, you know, deal with this stuff, so that it doesn't end up having that outcome
Hmm.
for you, and so that you can really honestly say that you walked away and you left it behind you, and you
Yeah.
dealt with it, you put it in perspective, and
Yeah.
you dealt with it. So
Can I just
just
say something too, Emery?
sure.
That the master class helps jumpstart the healing journey. right? So it's good to be aware of things that you need to do, but it's also good to know what you need to do to heal, and that healing is an ongoing process. So Anne-Marie and I have talked about this, that leaving a toxic job, you don't automatically just feel better. It's a healing journey, but the masterclass helps you jumpstart the healing journey, and to know that we deserve better. We deserve better than to be at these toxic jobs, these toxic hostile jobs that are killing us. We deserve so much better. So knowing that you deserve better, sign up for the masterclass.
And not only knowing that you deserve better, but then making a decision to do something about it. Because a
Yes.
lot of us are stuck in, we're just thinking and thinking and thinking, but we're not deciding anything and we're not taking any steps. And I'm very much about action. When these
Yes.
things are going on, you recognize that it's not right. You realize that it's not your fault. And then you have to make a decision about, well, what are you going to do about it? Right? Because no one else is going to do anything about this for you. HR is not going to save you. Your manager, who's often the perpetrator of this behavior, either they're the perpetrator or the supporter, they're not going to do anything. People are very comfortable with being discriminating against us in the workplace. It's par for the course.
Yes.
It's what we know how to do.
Yes.
And so we cannot take on the responsibility of trying to fix the system. We need to get out of it.
Yes.
We need to get out of these environments instead of staying in them and thinking that we're going to try to fix it and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. I always am like, I always say America is a country like a house that's on fire. And you can't, and these workplaces are microcosms of a larger societal problem. And so you're in a burning house. You don't call the fire department until you get out the burning house. Once you get out the house, if you want to, call the fire department, wait to see them come and put the fire, that's up to you. But I'm like, get as far away, like go 2 blocks away and then call them, right? Get your people out, get your people and your pets out if you can, and go as far away from the house and then call the fire department.
Right. As my friend said, you don't want to get crispy. You don't get crispy in the fire. You don't
call from inside the house. Get out the house first. And I really
save
want us,
yourself,
especially as Black women, to recognize that you're in a burning house.
Yes.
Right. And so you got to get out first, save yourself first. Like they say on the airplane, you put your oxygen mask on first, then you can worry about other people. It's the same kind of thing, that we need to save ourselves first, and then we can worry about pointing out the burning fire to the people who set it in the first place. Right. But trying to, save them and to put the fire out before you get out is a fool's errand. And so while they're
putting lighting fluid on you,
while they're still, and they're trying to spray you with the lighting fluid. So it's like, and they set the fire. So my thing is, I'm not even telling you nothing, because I feel like if you set it, you already know it's there, and it's not my problem to even try to tell you. I'm just trying to get me and whoever I can get out. And my thing is, I'm now out of the burning house. I'm trying to get as many other people out of the burning house as well.
Yes.
So I really want us to recognize that we are in a burning house. And so sacrificing yourself for the greater good in these situations is not the way to go. And too many of us have really bought into the idea
and have died.
To be the magical Negro is what I call it.
Yeah.
And we up in there trying to be magical and impress everyone with our magic. Yeah. And first of all, all they're doing is stealing your spells while you're there, doing all your whatever. And then they'll discard you when they got, when they get the blueprint, they don't need you anymore.
Yeah. Right? Or you end up dying in the process.
So I really want us to equip ourselves with the information that will help us get ourselves out of a house that's on fire without being crispy first, as Kimani said.
Right.
Okay. Like when you smell it, you smell the gas or whatever, get out there. Don't wait till you see the flames.
Right.
Too many of us are waiting. We could smell the gas, but we still waiting to see the flames. And by the time the flames come, you're not gonna make it out.
Right.
So we really need to protect ourselves in these environments. And so I'm super excited and proud to be collaborating with you on this. I really think it's gonna help a lot of people. We are still, as I said, working out the details. Setting everything up. You'll be hearing both of us talking about this more in the next weeks to come and days to come on our different platforms. And you'll get details about registering for the class, participating. It's going to be a live class, but there will also be replays available. So if you register for the class, you'll automatically get the replay. So if for whatever reason you can't attend one night or both nights, it's going to be 2 nights, 2-day class, that you'll still have the opportunity to get the replay, and it'll be, included if you purchased the class, the series of 2 classes, then you'll get the replay. And so you'll still have the ability to watch it and learn and act, because I am not doing this for people to just watch. I'm doing this because I want you all to have information so that you can act and use it in your own interest, not just, as I said, to get out, but to also get out with yourself intact, with your soul intact, with your plan for intentionally, now that you're out of it, what are you going to do to make sure that you heal from that experience? And, from my perspective, be prepared for when it happens again, because unfortunately, there's a high likelihood for us, especially as Black people and specifically Black women, that these are things that we will experience more than once in our career.
Yeah. And I know that many of you watching, you can relate to what we're saying, but you might be fearful, right? And fear is what stops many of us from leaving these toxic jobs. Even though we might see the smokes, we may see all these things, but we're stopped by the fear. And Anne-Marie and I want to tell you, the fear is normal. You are going to experience the fear. So don't feel like I feel the fear, I should stay. No, you're going to feel the fear. We're trying to give you some tools about how to work through the fear so you can still leave, right?
Right.
And to show you, Anne-Marie and I have both left a toxic job. We're doing very well, okay? So don't feel like, oh my God, I can't leave because my life will be horrible. Life will be so much better for you.
Your life will be better. Your life will be better. Your life will be better. And I think it's important for people to understand that fear is a natural emotion. And fear to me now is an accelerant for me for things that I want to do. If I feel afraid, then I usually know that I'm doing the right thing. If I feel any amount of, is this going to work? Then I know that I'm doing the right thing. The things that make you afraid are usually the best things that can happen to you. So, when you're comfortable, not much happens in comfort.
Sure.
Is what I have learned in my life. A whole lot don't happen in comfort. And so I'm always, I am forever grateful for all of the racist workplaces I ever worked in, because I would not have the life I have now if it wasn't for them. I thank racist people all day long, every day, because they keeping me employed, because they just won't stop. Right? So I'm like, as long as America and a certain segment of America continues to be who they are, things are going to be as they are. But you have the right and responsibility to make a decision about how you are going to deal with these things with that understanding. You can't just go, well, this is the way it is, I'm just going to put up with it. No, because you don't have to. Right. And so that boss that is giving you a hard time, or that coworker, that peer who is making your life miserable, could be the ticket to the best possible things that could happen to you in your life. It was for me, right? Because a big check, I always tell people, a 6-figure check can go a very long way to completely changing your life. Because it may not make you happy, but it gives you options that will allow you to be happy. So
I'm so glad you said that, Anne-Marie. Options.
It's options. Money is about options.
Don't feel like they're options. But you have options in terms of other jobs or other
choices. Because you can find another job or
yes.
Or start your own business or do something else, right? So it's really important. And I'm not saying everyone's going to get a 6-figure check, but lots of my clients have. So, and I sure did. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility. So it's really important to not let the fear stop you, but actually to have that be an accelerator for what it is that you need to do and want to do, understanding that it's a natural emotion. And if you're feeling it, that means you're moving in the right direction, right? Especially when it comes to these kinds of environments. It's completely normal to be afraid, but you just can't let the fear stop you. I tell people that all the time. I do things afraid all the time. I just don't let it be a reason why I don't do something that I want to do. Don't let it be the reason you don't act, but recognize that it is something that you're going to feel when you're in these kinds of environments, right? But as I said to a client the other day, it's like, what are you really losing besides a job that you hate? Ooh. What are you really losing besides a job you want to leave anyway? So you can't be afraid to stand up for yourself and say, I've had enough of this and I'm not doing it anymore. Because what are you going to really lose by leaving a job that you hate? There will always be another job.
Yeah. And you're
There
living
will
your worst
always be
life.
another job.
You're living your worst life at that job. You're living a
Yeah.
nightmare now. So how can it get much worse than that? I've never
It
met a
won't.
Black woman. I've never met a Black woman client, family, friends, coaching clients. I've never met a Black woman yet who has said, I regret leaving that toxic experience.
Not one
Never.
time. Not one time. Not one time.
Mm-mm.
And I've been doing this for what, 2 years almost now. I've never had a client come back to me and say, you know, I wish I had stayed in that job. Not one. Not one
Right.
of them. Even
No.
when the outcome wasn't exactly what they wanted or the number wasn't exactly what they wanted it to be, none of them have ever come back and said they wish they had stayed in that job. All of them are happy to be gone from it. So don't let that ever be the reason that you don't do what you're supposed to do. So I hope you guys are as excited as, you know, both of us are. As I said, you're gonna see this video probably on both of our channels, and we will be sharing more information in the weeks to come about the exact dates. It will be June 2023, and we will give you the exact dates very soon so you can save the dates. And we will be opening up registration in a couple weeks so that you can register for the course. So I highly recommend, there will be an early registration price. So when we announce it, I highly recommend that you jump on your seat and get your seat as soon as possible. We are making decisions now about how many people, because for us, it's really important to have it be the right size so that people get what they're supposed to get out of it. So it's not going to be an unlimited number of people. So once we announce it and we announce the early registration, I highly recommend that you grab your seat and plan to participate. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the masterclass.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye.